Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing on the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one, it's a fun one. This is a fun one. Some new units to show you, which is really good. And again, it's another Dwarf matchup. Because, well, we've already tested to see if, Dwarfs Lisbon, how that's changed. So now we're doing Dwarf Skaven. Yeah, we want to see how the new Skaven units hold up against the Dwarfs. At least some of them. At least some of them. So, yeah, this is kind of cool. So this is Felkon, and he's playing against King of the Dead. And here you can see he's got a couple of gyrocopters, brimstone guns. These guys, I think, are a nice pick for trying to deal with things like Doom Wheels and Doom Flayers. It's good to chase them down a bit, and the bombs can actually do some good damage to basically anything. Any of the new stuff, things like the weapons teams, you can do a lot of damage to if you can bomb them. It's tough, though. It's tough to get near them. If they've got weapon teams heavy, it's a tough one for the gyrocopters. But it is nice to have that very high AP on a unit that can sort of harass and scout. Also here you can see he's got Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes. These guys will absolutely just mulch any big thing. Things like the Plague Furnaces, Hell Pit Abominations, Rat Ogres, any of that stuff. It'll mulch them in seconds, but they rely on their armour to stay alive. You get into combat with them, with anything remotely armour-piercing, and they will die quite quickly. They do have great leadership, though, so they do tend to rally a lot, and they don't tend to lose a lot of models very quickly. Even if they do run away, it's usually they've just taken damage across the line, because they're all so sturdy. So they just get very damaged and then run, rather than having a load of units killed, like any other unit would. So, yeah, they're pretty damn good. I love these guys. I just love Iron Drakes, but quite short range. Quite short range, and a lot of the new Skaven guns have a lot of armor piercing. So that's a problem. That is definitely a problem, because it's the armor that keeps them alive, and if you ignore that, then nothing's keeping them alive. Oof. Anyway, Longbeards. Longbeards are great. There's a lot of terror that could be brought by the Skaven, so nice to have immune to psychology with them, and they can fight off clan rats all day. They are very sturdy. Also, a load of mines with blasting charges. These guys great for dealing damage to a lot of the infantry. The blasting charges can do a heck of a lot of work, and there's a ton of Slayers here. Dragonback and 2 other normal Slayers. Slayers great for dealing with any of the new stuff, I think. They're nice and quick, so they can get into the back line and deal with weapons teams, or they can deal with Rat Ogres, or they can deal with Hell Pit Abominations, or they can deal with Plague Furnaces, or Screaming Bells, or they can try and do things to Doom Flayers, but my god, Doom Flayers are hard to kill, especially without a lot of armor piercing, because in melee they get an armor piercing buff. It's pretty terrifying. But I like the look of this army. He's also got Belagar and the Runesmith. Belagar, I mentioned this last time, but there has been a change to him. Revenge Incarnate now. Oh no, he doesn't have a Revenge Incarnate. Okay, never mind. No point mentioning it. But his other ability, Revenge Incarnate, you can use over and over again. It's not a one-use item anymore. But he does have the Mighty Oathstone in this build, along with the Runesmith. Runesmith, pretty handy. He's got a load of runes, as you'd expect. So, King of the Dead over here. He's got Rat Ogres. So he's got 3 Rat Ogres. They're great for just running in and out, sort of taking out secluded miners or Longbeards or whatever. Good armor piercing. And here, Warplock Jezzails. Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, which are Warplock Jezzails with Snipe. Yep, they have Snipe, so you can't even shoot at them with artillery because they can shoot at you and not be seen. It's terrifying. So Snipe and Stalk, Stalk means they can't be seen, but Snipe means they can't be seen even when they're shooting. So you've got to be really close to them to be able to see where they are. But they do have big, lasers coming out of them, so you can kind of figure out where they are, but it doesn't mean you can target them with any of your units. Also, the Teeth Breakers. These guys are very, very scary. Rattling Gunners, Regiment Renown, but they have concealment bombs, so you can hide them and remaneuver them. So really good for flanking these guys. Absolutely love them. And Shield Breaker on all of the Warplock Jezzails means that the Teeth Breakers and other Rattling Guns teams can get more damage in, and these guys slow things down, which affords these guys more time to shoot at things. So they just synergize so well. You can see here more Jezzails and more Rattling Gunners. Very scary. So I've got Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. These guys, Clan Rats Regiment Renown, flaming attacks, as you can probably guess, and also huge fire resistance, which is pretty cool. And pretty good stat line for Clan Rats. I really like these guys. They're quite fun. And if they're things like Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, throw these guys at them and take ages to kill them. And Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are quite popular here. So, there is that. And that's pretty much it. No, it's not. Ikit Claw. We have Ikit Claw. So I love this guy. You can see he's got the Brass Orb and unlimited power. Unlimited power is really funny. It's like Arcane Conduit, but better. But it also can miscast, so he can end up killing himself with it, which is very funny. He's also got Storm Demon, which is a sort of a magic missile attack, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, but it says good against armor, but I find it's actually better against not armored things. I find like a Empire spellcaster, you can take half his health off immediately, but against armored things, I don't find it does as much damage. I don't know if it's changed at all since I last played with it, but I don't find it does the work that's advertised. So, I've been going on for ages, but you know, new stuff to look at and to talk about. So, feel free to skip to this point of the video. Probably should have said that at the start, huh? Yup, should have. Oh well, it's too late now. Ha ha, ha ha ha. That's a fake laugh. So, gyrocopters, they're pushing in. But, yeah, don't like the chances. Oh, I don't like the chances much. No, this isn't good at all. Yep, there goes one. Wow, that's obscene. They really, really don't stand a chance against all those guns. That is very bad. Also, one thing I find quite funny is suppressed. The idea of suppressed for the rattling gunners. I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, if there's just a hail of bullets coming at you, you tend to duck. But it's odd that it affects flying units. You know? Like, should it affect flying units? I feel like it shouldn't. Because flying units, if you're flying and you're being shot at, you bob and weave, right? If anything, you go quicker. But, no, apparently they still duck. So they go slower, which seems unusual. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, units all pushing up. And, yeah, you know, Claw's been getting in quite close. But Slayers, they are taking the brunt of the fire here, which I think is interesting. I think it's interesting. He could have been real cheeky and just shot at the Lords and Heroes here. He's got a lot of opportunity to do that. But I guess he's being nice. I guess he's being nice. He wants to see what he can do against the other units first. So, looks like, yeah, Miners getting pretty injured here. Claw barely hurt. But, I mean, there are the Iron Drakes nearby. If they can get some volleys off on Claw, he's a big target on that Doom Wheel. He will suffer horribly. He really will. So, more shots into the gyrocopters that came in to try and do some hurt to Claw. They did manage to hit him a couple times, but my god, all this fire is ridiculous. But at least it's keeping the ground forces from getting shot at. And that is something. That is something. And you can see, these guys are using a lot of ammunition. A huge amount of ammunition, in fact. So that is something. That is something. Okay, the Dwarfs aren't out yet. So, a load of runes being used on the Runesmith and Belagar. And, now this is a bad place for them. This is a very bad spot for them. Ikit's running in, all these guns are firing in, but the terrain is actually helping. The fact he went to one side is pretty clever, because look at the terrain here, how it bobs up and down. So any guns over on this side, it's going to be very difficult to shoot anything in any of these gullies. So the Dwarves are getting a lot more cover than they would have done if they just tried to spread out and go straight at the enemy. So going for one side, the map is helping them a lot. You can see a lot of these guns having to constantly re-maneuver, and they're getting chased down by Slayers now. But you can see Rat Ogres are coming in to try and do what they can. They're going to keep harassing what they can, and Claw has taken a lot of damage. He did take a volley from the Iron Drakes, I believe, and he did damage himself a little bit more with unlimited power. Yeah, kind of awkward, but anyway, loads of gunfire here, just so many guns. These rattling gunners finally in range start shooting things, and yeah, suppression is kind of crazy. 17 speed on any unit, I mean, you're basically not moving at that point. But look at this, Runesmith just getting torn to shreds. That is very, very bad for him. Belagar, he's just right in the middle of all this, but Claw is anti-infantry. He will do pretty well against Belagar, but Iron Drakes are still shooting. He is having to retreat. And it means Belagar, he's just going to sit fighting clan rats for a bit. Which, to be honest, is still good for King of the Dead. He'd rather Belagar just fighting his clan rats than doing anything useful. So it still works. Then you can see Ikit is running in to try and stop these Slayers a bit, because he has to have something to stop these Slayers, because all these Slayers are just going to keep pushing in and getting onto these guns. But the Teeth Breakers could afford to turn around and start shooting. That suppression will slow these guys down a lot, and it means that the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers that are pulling out the engagement will be able to get on top of them nice and easily. But look at this, Rat Ogre's taking a huge amount of damage. These guns still firing into all of this. But it doesn't look like they're getting the best hits on these units. They're clipping the wings a bit, but it's nothing major. It's nothing major just yet. So, ton of fire coming in from the Teeth Breakers, just ripping apart a load of these Slayers, slowing them down, letting the Rat Ogres and the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers catch up to them while they retreat and re-maneuver. So over here you can see more Slayers charging in. One unit, only 4 of them left. Looks like these Clan Rats are going to catch them out. But if those 3 now Slayers can keep these Clan Rats back, it means the rest of the units are free to push in. So, more runes being used by the Runesmith, trying to negate some damage, and the guns have been whittling down these Iron Drakes somewhat. So, Slaves now charging into the rear, which is very annoying. These Miners have almost had it, and that's going to free up a lot of Clan Rats, and they're really going to get in the way. So over here, Rat Ogres are pushing back into these Longbeards. With that armor piercing, they'll do very well, but look at this! Claw stopped moving for a second, and now he's dead. He is so dead. Runerath and Runa slow him down. Didn't even need it. Those Iron Drakes just tore him to pieces. And that's the problem with Iron Drakes. You really want to kill him quickly. But Claw, he's not out. No. No, when he dies, he explodes. Yes, he explodes. I love that. That's, I think, my favourite thing about him. If he dies, he'll explode. He'll take people with him. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage to single models, though, and since Belegar was the only person near him, he didn't really do much, which is a bit of a pity. If he ran into here before he died, I reckon a lot of these dwarfs would have died, and that's pretty hilarious. So, Dragonback Slayers, just completely sandwiched now by the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers and the Clan Rats, but with Belegar and the Runesmith nearby, it looks like they're going to break these guys nice and quick. These Slayers, only 5 of them, but they're managing to get onto these Warp Block Jezzails, which is very good. But look at this, half ammunition on all these guys. I mean, when the front lines clashed, they basically had half ammunition on all of them. So it just shows how little they've been able to just turn and fire at things. I mean, there was the one unit of Rattling Gunners. They've used half their ammunition. They had full ammo just on one flank. It's only when they repositioned, started shooting into this engagement, that they used all that ammunition. But still, so many of these units just haven't been able to get value. But things are starting to look a bit rough again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of dead rats, a lot of fleeing rats. That's all really good. But these guns just... There's a lot of separated dwarfs. They're all very spread out. You know, rat ogres, 2 units left. They'll be able to just run into anything secluded. And the rattling guns can just suppress things so much. It's really tough. Just something crap like Skaven slaves. It'll just keep these longbeards bogged down for so long because it just buys time for the rattling gunners to start firing. And they get slowed down so much. 17 speed is nothing. And it's not just the slow. I mean, they do a ton of damage too. So that's pretty bad. So they're broken. Skaven slaves can now chase them off. So more units trying to push in. Longbeards getting caught out by the Rat Ogres. Not much they can do, and they have to keep trying to push. Because these Teeth Breakers can turn around, they can snipe out those Lords and Heroes. Because you see, they're now engaging down these little gullies. They're going to have line of sight now. You know, they're not attacking up and over them. So these guys will have a lot better line of sight now they've repositioned to this side of the map. So that's very, very scary indeed. And now, oh god, Belegar down at 21 speed, suffering horrible damage. All of the runes are being used to try and keep them alive. But it's not looking great for these guys at all. Over here, Slayer's doing a wonderful job dealing with all the chaff, but they don't really want to be dealing with the chaff. It's more that the chaff are doing a great job of keeping the Slayers busy, and that's a problem. So, Natty Bubo sharpshooters firing in. There are some clan rats ready to jump in when they need to. More units are rallying over here. Miners are starting to come back into the fight, and hopefully they can sandwich some of these units. But the amount of artillery teams, the amount of weapon teams still going, there's just so much stuff to be caught in the crossfire. And over here, these rat ogres are still going. These Warp Block Jezzails are still going, and that Runesmith is out. He got bullied by those rat ogres and is out. And these miners, without any shields, they're taking the full brunt of this missile damage. I mean, Longbeards are close behind. They are close behind, and here Belegar has managed to catch up to the Teeth Breakers. So there are some things that are going well for the dwarves here, but it just means that these Warp Block Jezzails can reposition and start firing this way again. So these Iron Drakes, they need to deal with the rat ogres, because as soon as they get into combat with these units, they're going to clean up. I mean, there aren't enough Slayers left. There's only 13, which, yeah, I think that's a good thing for the Skaven, isn't it? When there's 13 Slayers left. That's not great. So these Rat Ogres need to be dealt with by the Iron Drakes before they're caught out. Over on this side, though, these Warp Block Jezzails totally free just to shoot Belegar in the back. And that's very bad for him. And all these units, they're still getting away. Just nothing is quick enough to catch them. That's the problem with dwarfs, they're so slow, so when you're fighting a ton of weapon teams, it's very, very difficult. So over here you can see the Rat Ogres have got into combat, and these Iron Drakes are suffering horribly for it. These Slayers, 8 left, they need to come back in, but luckily one more shot blasted that Rat Ogre point blank, and he was able to break those Rat Ogres before they can do any more damage, but we are saying goodbye to these Iron Drakes. That is a problem. So over here, yep, Belegar's dead. Belegar's dead. Oh, Belly. Poor Belly. And Longbeards look like they might catch out Natty Bubo sharpshooters, which is very good. Ammunition is getting quite low on the weapons teams, but body counts are getting quite low for the dwarfs, so it's not really good on either side. Here, these Slayers, they're trying to keep chasing these Rat Ogres, and sadly these Iron Drakes are still just busy fighting these Skaven slaves. Skaven slaves will take forever, you know, doing damage to them, but these Iron Drakes need to be shooting to be getting value. So over here, Longbeard's getting shot in the back. Ruin of Wrath and Ruin has been used on the Teeth Breakers. Brilliant move there. It will slow them down. But now Rattling Guns on the other side, they'll be able to get a few volleys off. They still have 3 ammo left, and that's 3 full volleys. So all of this shooting you're seeing, that's all just 1 ammunition being used. It's only when they all stop firing. So there we go. So these ones have used their ammo, and now these ones. And now it's another shot, I believe. So there we go. Nope, nope, that was the end of that volley, apparently. There's just a few bullets left in the chamber, apparently. So, yeah, it's a lot of bullets. It's a lot of bullets. These guys still getting chased, but god, dwarfs are slow. They are so slow. Luckily, though, these Iron Drakes did come back. 5 of them left, and the Slayers managed to shatter the Rat Ogres and to scare off these Skaven slaves. And these Warlock Jezzails are out of ammunition now. These Rat Ogres are back again, though. God, they won't stop. They won't stop. And here, Teeth Breakers actually, yeah, they still have quite a bit of ammunition left. They need to be dealt with. And here, this Rattling Gunner team, they have enough ammo to deal with the Runesmith, I think. The Runesmith isn't looking so hot. And Natty Bubo shooting from the other side. So yeah, he's shattered. He's shattered. He did live, so that's something. But yeah, they ran out of ammunition. If he just hadn't shattered, maybe he could have got up to them again, used another rune or something. That would have been nice. But nope, nope, they're out. So now it's just these. These are the dwarves. This is the dwarf army. Yep, wavering Iron Drakes. Another unit of Iron Drakes. Still with 14 models though. That is ludicrous amounts of DPS. So that's something. And 7 Slayers. But there is still some ammunition here. Teeth Breakers still have 2 volleys and 1 from the Natty Bubo Sharpshooters. This ammunition has lasted the whole game, but barely. Barely. So, what's going on the back? I think the Rat Ogres did shatter, so that's good. No more Rat Ogres. So, everything is a bit slow. So, you know, there is time to shoot things. Oh, Iron Drake's getting shot at. Last volley of the Rattling Guns there. Able to break these Iron Drakes. Now, he's trying to deal with the Dragonback Slayers, knowing they're unbreakable. They can just sit and fight these guys all day, because none of these guys are going to be good in melee. But, looks like the Iron Drakes are back. One more volley, though, into the other Iron Drakes. Doing some good damage there. But they're not very accurate at this distance. You know, they're more accurate closer. The closer you get, the more accurate the Rattling Gunners are. So that's something. Now here, I think this is a mistake. Dragonback Slayers charging into this unit. Bad idea. Stay on these. Stay on these. I think he thought there was more ammunition left. But no, they ran out of ammo. It would have been better to hold them in place and shoot them with the Iron Drakes. But no, Iron Drakes now getting caught up. But they are firing. They are able to fire. And it looks like those Warlock Jezzails are toast. So, how many Slayers left? 3! 3 Slayers! You think 3 Slayers can kill these guys? Maybe. Who knows? Here, though, some Skaven slaves. Charging in the back. They're just slaves. One volley might be enough to break them. They're taking some damage. They're taking some damage. But they're very, very happy, apparently. I don't know why they're so happy. And the Iron Drakes are just so injured. You know, even with that armor, they just have such a little amount of health left. And only 1 Slayer left. So close. So close. Unbelievably close fight. But that goes to King of the Dead. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I think this... I'm not sure if this is the optimum Skaven build. I've played with a few different things, with you know, a load of artillery and also just a load of Doom Flayers. And it seems like Doom Flayers are the way to go. You can just get into that back line, just kill anything that might pose a problem to Doom Flayers. With Doom Flayers. That's the problem. They counter everything that counters them. So as long as they can get into combat with it, they're laughing. So it's kind of scary. I think Doom Flayers are very, very powerful in this matchup. And honestly, I think this is just going to favour Skaven now. I don't think this is like Dwarfs and Lizardmen, where it favoured the Dwarfs, but now it's quite a cool even matchup with a few different ways you can go. Now it feels like Skaven are just going to beat Dwarfs almost every time, because all of the new units are very good against Dwarfs, because basically all the new units are armour-piercing. When you think about it, you know, what we've got Warlock Jezzails, we've got Rattling Guns, we've got Doom Flayers. You know, a ton of the Regiments Renowned are things like Doom Wheels and other Doom Flayers and other, you know, Rattling Gunners and not Warlock Engineers, Warlock, what are they called again? Warlock Jezzails, that's the one. Yeah, it's scary. It is very scary stuff. I think the Skaven here they're going to be really tough for the Dwarfs. This is beautifully played by Felkon. I had no idea he'd be able to hold in this long. I think the main problem was the Iron Drakes probably should have been focused down a little bit earlier. I think that would have really, really helped swing things, because they were the ones that just slaughtered Ikit I think Ikit could have run around killing this stuff all day if he was allowed to stay alive, but no, the Iron Drakes just completely demolished him, and I think that's actually what made it as close as it was. But my god, these guys just... they put in some work. 115 and 93 kills there. When there's only 755 in an army, that is a huge proportion of it. So yeah, absolutely wonderfully played. And loving the new units though. Oh, they're just so shiny and flashy and loud. They're great. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.